How's it going, everyone? I'm Gonzer, and today we're going to be ranking the anime. If you've noticed, I have been covering, kind of popular topics lately, getting the kind of common questions out of the way, but I've noticed that as I do it, I still get the comments. What do you think about Serena? There's probably, a good 5 to 10 comments on that Greninja video asking me what I think about Serena coming back, and I'd already covered that topic. And I'm not the person to ask, guys. I'm probably going to let most people down. I'm probably going to be like, it's pretty unlikely. It's pretty unlikely. The only thing where I'm really fantastical about it enough to say that I think it'll probably happen, that your dreams will happen, is the Greninja situation. And that's just a hunch. I just think it's going to happen. But I digress. Today, like I said, we're going to rank the anime. Let's do it. Oh, before we get to that, actually, the video looked horrible last time, okay? It was washed out as hell. I will get a DSLR. The problem is that this webcam is crap. It'll always make everything look noisy, no matter what. Even if I added a shitload of light in here, the background would look noisy and crappy. So, Anyway, let's jump right into it. I have no script today, guys. Nothing. We are just ranking it, okay? So, as you see, number 9, which is the anime that I believe to be the worst. In fact, it is the only Pokemon anime that I think is crappy, that I think is shitty. I think this is horrible. Why do I think Best Wishes is bad? Because it erased all of Ash's progress, all of it. All of it, every little bit of it. It convinced the entire world that Ash is 10 years old, when Ash was definitely developing, when Ash was definitely aging, period. They're acting like Ash was never aging. I'm not saying he grew like a bunch of years, but he definitely developed, and he was definitely aging. Not quickly, but, all of a sudden this bullshit comes around, and, he's 10, he's retarded, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's just garbage. This is the worst thing that they could do. Especially, days after Pikachu beat a Latios, I don't know which one, I don't care which one. Their colors, they're the same fucking Pokemon, with one's blue and one's red. Has a little red color, a little blue color, whatever. It's bullshit that a couple days after that, all of a sudden, Pikachu's getting beaten up by a baby Snivy with a new trainer. Come on, guys. And then there, of course, that infamous gym battle where he didn't bring his Pokemon. People say that a lot of people are too hard on this series. No, I don't think people are hard enough on this series. This is incoherent garbage. So, I am okay with erasing this anime from history. I'd be okay if people never talked about it again. I think it's a piece of shit. And you will hear me at later times just act like nothing happened for 3 years. I'm dead serious. I will start acting like this anime didn't happen because I wish it didn't happen. I fucking hate this anime. So, number 8 though. And we're hopping in the original series here. Do I think this is like so bad that it should be at number 8? No. And if you noticed, I've split the original series here into 3 parts. So, and I split Advanced Generation into 2 parts. The original series here, the Jojo Region, I think this was when the anime was at its worst. As far as the original series, but I still think it was good. I think that the situation with Gary suddenly changing, although that battle was good, and although the rivalry was, okay, it was weird that they suddenly just changed in the end. Gary suddenly he became a different person. But other than that, it was a good anime. It had its moments. It had its cute moments. I liked the situation with Ash and Chikorita / Bayleaf. I thought that was, funny stuff. It had its high points, but in general, I don't think it's I think it's probably the worst of the good animes. Number 7, The Orange Islands. It's hard for me to not say that this is better than the original series when they were in Kanto, but that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, there are too many classic old school episodes with a lot of development in them in Kanto, and despite Ash being a better trainer in the Orange Islands, which normally I'm a sucker for, They introduced Tracy here, and I think Tracy was a good companion, but I think they were wrong to think that the Western audience hated Brock because Brock wasn't white. I don't know. I think that is a little bit of Japan bullshit goofiness. No, I'm not putting that on all of Japan, but I think what happens is different countries get these stupid views of these other countries, and, you know, you hear people go around and say, the United States, they're racist. Everyone here is racist. I don't think that's true. And I think that made Japan fuck up here. But at least Tracy was a good character. Okay, so number 6. As you see, I ranked the original series back to back to back. Kanto, like I said, so many just classic episodes here. So much funny development. It's like the original series is not even like the Pokemon anime anymore. That's why it's like so far back. That's one of the main reasons that this is so far back on the list, is the anime just changed. As soon as Advanced Generation came around, the way that the anime is changed entirely. Like, I know many people who think the anime is still like it used to be. You'll hear things like, Ash doesn't train his Pokemon. Oh yeah, he does. So, you know, it's a relic of the past. It's a relic of my childhood, but I do think it's good, but not as good as the things that came after with Advanced Generations and Sinnoh and the 3 years that didn't happen. That's the only thing that's worse, was those 3 years that didn't happen. But I digress. So number 5, like I said, Advanced Generation, very good anime. It really revolutionized how Pokemon would be seen for years. This is how Pokemon would pretty much be until Sun and Moon, when a lot of new people took over. That's what happened during Sun and Moon. A lot of new people took over. They took the anime in a new direction. So, as far as the female companion here, May and Max, people hate Max. I don't think Max is that bad of a character. I think they did pretty well to have a kid who's supposed to seem younger than the others. I think they did a good job at that. And if he's supposed to seem younger, he has to do some dumb shit, things that the other people wouldn't do. And I think they did good with him. I think they did good with Bonnie too later on, but we'll get to that. May, she might be the best developed female companion, and people might get mad at that. I don't think she has the most coherent development. I think that belongs to Serena, okay? But I think that May, she had the most put into her. I think she had a lot of rivals. I think they really tried to get her over, and I really wonder if they were planning on getting rid of her so soon or what they were doing. But I don't know. They did a really good job with her. And imagine if she came back, dude. Imagine if you saw May today and what Pokemon she'd have. Her team would be ridiculous. If she decided to battle, she'd be one of the most unstoppable trainers in the Pokemon world as far as we've seen. Legit. She'd be stacked as hell. But I digress. Let's move on. So, at number 4, Pokemon Sun and Moon. This is a series that I fucking hated to begin with. I hated this series. I thought this series was garbage. It pissed me off. Coming from XY to this pissed me off, guys. I did not want this anime. I did not demand this anime. But Sun and Moon showed me a couple things. One's positive and one is negative, okay? 2 things that come to mind. The positive thing is, you know, give it time. Even if you think it sucks, give it time and let it tell its story, and maybe it will be good. The negative thing was winning the league isn't everything. And I think that Sun and Moon, although Ash was reset here, and if you think he wasn't reset here, there's something wrong in your fucking brain, because he was definitely reset here. Not too hard of a reset, though. The Best Wishes reset was much harder. Much harder. The Sun and Moon reset was not too hard of a reset, but it was a reset nonetheless, and they had to develop Ash basically from probably about the level he was in at the beginning of Advanced Generations all the way to maybe the strongest he's ever been. I would argue no, but close. They had to develop him up quite a lot. So basically we saw in Sun and Moon, in that short time, we saw the development of probably 3 entire generations previously. So they did work here. They did a lot of work on this and told some really good stories. They told a lot of self-contained stories that were really good. We had a few mini-series stories that were really good. All of the characters felt well balanced. His team felt balanced. I really like pretty much every character in Sun and Moon. I like the dynamic with Kukui kind of being the father character. I like, all the females, all the males, they all got their time to shine, I would say. People say Lily overshadowed the others. No, I don't think so. I think that, I think she's more liked by the writing staff, and I think she sells better. So I think that's why she got harder focus on her, but the others weren't overshadowed. Like, I can tell you things about, Mallow and Lana. I could, if you can describe a character to someone, then they're not underdeveloped. They may have been ignored for some time, but it doesn't mean that they're underdeveloped or outshined. So, all right, number 3, 0.5. I'm just showing you where I would put Pokemon Journeys right now. If it were to end like right now, I wouldn't put it here. I'd put it at the very end, or I'd put it ahead of Best Wishes. But I think it's on track to be about right here. But it has it has more mobility than the others because the others are all over. This one, they could really impress me and really do some crazy shit. We're gonna have to see what the fuck happens, but they're doing some crazy shit, guys. This has been awesome so far. We'll just have to see where it goes. Okay, so at number 3, though, Advanced Generation, the Kanto Battle Frontier. This was a time where Ash really came out onto his own. And this is also, we get to see the second half of May's development here. And it was exciting to finally see Ash become like someone who is respected in the world that he is in, because before this he was just some dumb little trainer running around, right? And Advanced Generation and Diamond and Pearl, they really fixed that situation. And although this is a short saga, it had some amazing shit. Ash versus Brandon, what they showed me there is, you could have Ash lose a bunch of times and come back, and you could still tell this great story. It was crazy. As someone who didn't watch Pokemon for a long time, I came back with like 1,000 new episodes or something to watch. A lot. 900 something. This was crazy for me to see. I didn't think, when you leave the anime behind, you think, oh yeah, Ash, he must have... This is what they want kids to think anyways. They want you to think, oh, Ash, he must have grown up, he must have became a Pokemon master, this and that, blah, 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 okay? So, then I find out, oh, he's never won a league. Then I'm like, okay, so it's just going to be the same garbage bullshit. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm not happy about that. But, so I go start watching the anime, and you get here and you see, okay, they have went somewhere with Ash. They just hadn't given him the league win yet. And, yeah, this really convinced me that, maybe in the future we would see that league win, and we did, baby. So, we're getting down to the line here, so you guys know what the final answers are here, okay? But, number 2, Diamond and Pearl, which took place in the Sinnoh region, okay? Quite frankly, if this generation were just the story of Ash versus Paul, This would be the best thing Pokemon ever did. It would never be topped. They would never tell a better story than it. Period. And I'm saying that right now. Pokemon will never tell you a better story than the story of Ash versus Paul. And a lot of people do not really understand how good that story was. That story was incredible. And a lot of people don't understand what Ash got out of it. You know why people don't understand what Ash got out of it? I'll tell you why. Because they fucking stupidly reset Ash days later and made him retarded. But if you just erase that anime from history and you just go straight to XY, it becomes more clear what Ash gained from battling Paul. And that is objectivity. Ash became highly objective. It has since been erased, and it is insulting that it was erased 2 times now by Sun and Moon and by Best Wishes. People will argue with me about that, but I'd have to sit here and probably make a 25-minute case to explain myself here. But objectivity, for example, Ash purposely got Infernape beaten up. Okay? Remember in XY when he was in that trick room and he kept making Fletchinder use Flame Charge? That's objectivity. Remember in XY when he was getting attacked in the battle against Ramos? When he just told Frogadier, just fucking take the attack and focus on where he's at? That's objectivity. And we really do not see a lot of it from Ash anymore. I remember in Sun and Moon when Pikachu is taking the Z move from Evil Land Pikachu, whatever the fuck you call it. He's taking that Z move and Mimikyu, that's what you call it, Mimikyu. He's taking that Z move and Ash says, "Endure it!" You know, that's a little bit objective, but not really. You know, missing that objectivity from that battle with Paul, it's insulting because this is the greatest story that they ever told. Period. How do I think about Dawn? What do I think about Dawn? And I haven't really talked about Brock either. Brock was kind of a big brother character, and he just kind of stayed that character. He didn't really have a lot of development, and you know, I think Brock is a good character. I think he was a good character to bounce off of. I think he was a good character to have around for Ash, to keep Ash dumb. That was what his main function was, so you could keep Ash as a dumbass, and you know, he doesn't need to know how to completely take care of himself in all of this. That's what Brock was used for. And although Brock was a good character, he was never like the main protagonist like Ash or Dawn or May and da-da-da. Dawn, you know, Dawn, as much as I said that they handled May correctly, and we talk about Serena, you know, Dawn is up there too. Dawn is definitely up there too. They didn't have the mistakes that they had with May, and that would be where Ash was like ignoring the shit out of May and didn't care about May. What do you think the audience is going to think when they see that the main protagonist doesn't give a shit what the main female protagonist is doing? It's you know, they fixed that in Diamond and Pearl, and they told a good friendship story between Ash and Dawn. And you know, Dawn was always a fun character. She was always she brought a more cute element to the show instead of like I'm a go-getter kind of element, a female Ash element. She brought that feminine touch, and she should really be thanked for where the anime went with Serena, because she was a step toward that direction. And boy, did the anime need it. So, here we go. So I would say that the best anime saga is definitely Pokemon XY, which, again, happened in Kalos. Let's talk about the characters here. Pokemon XY is definitely a study in secondary, what's the word for it? Having complementary secondary characters to your primary character. The way that these characters respected Ash showed us who Ash was. These characters did more for Ash than any character in the anime, period. okay? Remember how I talked about how Brock was there so Ash could stay stupid? Well, what do you think Clement is? Clement is, he's kind of like Brock, right? He's kind, but now that guy who is like Brock, who is this gym leader, who's this really capable person, that person now needs to follow Ash. It's not Ash needs him to follow him. It's no, that person needs to follow Ash to learn to be this great trainer, to learn to be better to learn to better themselves. And that's what Clement was, that was his role. And boy, like, these support characters, it was huge. These support characters and having these giant, incredible battles, the best written battles in the anime's history, by far, in my opinion. I know a lot of you are gonna whine in the comments like little pussies about it. My generation's the best! No. You know, this generation has objectively the best battles. Period. You know, the other generations do not touch it. I don't care if you say the animation. Okay. Name one battle that is written better than Ash versus Olympia. One. I'll give you 5 years. I don't think we'll ever see a battle that's written that well. You know? They knew what they were doing. They did a very good job during this generation. So, let's move on to Serena here. This generation finally gave us a highly feminine character, and they finally gave us a love interest character, which is Serena. And, guys, like, there's a reason that Twitter is full of Amore shippers and isn't full of shippers for these other chicks. There's a reason that Serena is the main girl who everyone likes. The reason the community loves Serena is because they showed us that she was worth loving, and they showed us that Ash was worth loving, and they did it via this dynamic between the two. She was there to show us how fucking cool Ash is, and boy did it work. You know, this anime home run, I don't see a more consistent story ever being told in Pokemon's history. We'll have to see. Like I said, Diamond and Pearl, they had the best story. It contained the best story, but it was certainly not as consistent as XY. Lastly, you know, I'll say something here about Bonnie, and then we'll get to Greninja. Bonnie, people don't like that they have these little characters running around with them acting like a bunch of dumbasses, but guess what? Bonnie was not a dumb character. The point of Bonnie being there and acting barely dumb was to have a contrast of how adult and how mature the main characters are at this point. So it was like the cast had been brought from age 10 or age 12, whatever, and now they're like young high schoolers. That's how it felt. That's how it seemed to be written. Now, I'm not saying that is their age during the show, but I'm saying that's how it felt. So, lastly, Greninja. Greninja and Infernape, I think these are the two greatest Pokemon stories. The Infernape one is the objectively better story because it was involved in the Ash and Paul story, right? But Greninja, secondarily, I think they handled that character very, very well, especially for the first 2 seasons, and then they just kind of gave up once it was fully evolved and fully strong, and they just highly featured it and highly had it just kicking a bunch of ass in that. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it could have been better in the end. But I think it was a deep story nonetheless, and I think there's a reason that people absolutely love Pokemon XY, and I think there's a reason that most of the audience holds XY in high regard. But that's it, guys. So that's going to be it for today, guys. You guys can tell me how you feel about these different sagas / generations in the comments. Tell me what you think. I'll add a question up there in the right corner and be like, yo, what is the best generation? And you guys can answer that and call me names in the comments and do all the things you guys normally like to do. It'll be pretty sweet, okay? But anyway, guys, please like, comment, subscribe, and the most important thing you can do for the channel is share. Sharing is great. Sharing is caring. Hopefully the channel can take off a little more. I really want to get to the monetization point before 6 months are up. We are at I'd say almost 2 months in, maybe 1.5 months in, and almost at 200 subs. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs before 6 months, and I think we're on track for that. But we shall see. Things are going good, guys. But I hope things are going good for you guys in this coronavirus bullshit. You know, better days will come. The anime will be back. We will be happy again soon. Look out for each other, guys. Peace out, cats.